Good morning, everyone. Today's notes are going to be about cellular respiration, which is the opposite equation from photosynthesis. So in photosynthesis, we were creating glucose. In cellular respiration, we're going to be ripping our glucose apart to steal its energy. Okay? So first thing, I've got my levels of organization taped down here. I highlighted molecule and organelle because those are the levels we're working on today. Then over here, I've got my notes, and if you want to go ahead and just write this in, it's the equation for cellular respiration, because I may have forgotten to do that in the notes. So C6H12O6 plus 6O2 yields 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus ATP, which is energy. And the important thing to remember is that cellular respiration is not breathing. It's not respiration. It's very specifically cellular respiration, and it is not breathing. Okay? So our title is Cellular Respiration, ATP, Energy, because that is the function of cellular respiration. Okay? So cellular respiration is where cells burn food, and by food we mean glucose, to make energy, which is ATP, okay? So we talked about glucose being a chemical energy. That chemical energy is similar to like if you had a brick of charcoal and you worked at a power plant, you can't just take a brick of charcoal and charge your cell phone, can you? You need to turn that charcoal into energy that your cell phone can use. That's basically what our cells do. They're taking glucose and turning it into an energy that they can use to charge up, basically. Okay, so it converts the energy in glucose to a form of energy that cells can use, and that energy is called ATP. Right? ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Again, ATP. It is a nitrogen base, which is adenine. There are 4 nitrogen bases. A, T, C, and G. This we're talking about adenine, and it has 3 phosphate groups attached. Okay. So when we look at what it looks like, there's our adenine right here. Then this is a sugar. See, it's got the pentagon shape, a ring shape. That's a sugar. And then we've got 3 phosphate groups. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 3 means tri. That's why it's adenosine triphosphate. It's important that you remember this because there are actually 3 versions of this molecule. This is the first one. Okay, so respiration is about making ATP out of ADP. This is the second version, adenosine diphosphate. So if tri means 3, di means 2, and that means you only have 2 phosphate groups. So you have a 2 phosphate group, cellular respiration takes it, and it adds that 3rd phosphate to it to give it its energy, okay? This process is similar to if you had a rechargeable battery. Okay, ATP is like when you have a full battery. So this right here, that's a full battery. ADP is when that battery has been used up and it needs to recharge. So our cells, when they use this energy, they break this bond and these come apart and it releases all of the energy that was in that bond. So then it goes around and it only has the 2 and it's like, I'm used up. I can't do anything. So it waits for cellular respiration to occur, and then that adds that 3rd phosphate group, and then it's charged and ready to go and ready to be used to do cell transport or make you some insulin or whatever. Okay, so this process is called aerobic respiration, and that means it uses oxygen. Okay, so there's 2 words you need to remember. Aerobic means oxygen. Anytime you hear aerobic, like if you're doing aerobic exercise, that means you're using oxygen. Okay, anaerobic is without oxygen. So an means without, so it's literally without oxygen. Anaerobic exercise would be like lifting weights. They consider that to be anaerobic exercise. All right. The last thing we're going to talk about is fermentation. So fermentation is a form of anaerobic respiration. Okay, that means it does not use oxygen. And it's commonly used to make wine, beer, and bread. Okay, so it's yeast ferments. Sugar will ferment, like fruit ferments. If you left strawberries in your refrigerator for a little bit too long, they're still edible, but if you bite into them, they'll kind of like make your tongue tingle, and that's because that's the alcohol that's being formed by the fermentation of the glucose. Okay, this is my very poorly drawn loaf of bread. These are some grapes, which you use to ferment to make wine, and this is wheat, which you use to make beer. Okay, so you need to make sure that you have your equation over here and highlighted. You need to make sure everything down here is highlighted. You need to write that cellular respiration is not breathing. This is very important. And you need to make sure you have your levels of organization. These are all part of your grade. Okay, this is part of your grade. This is part of your grade. The highlighting part of your grade. Okay, this is on page 44. We will be doing our cellular respiration foldable on page 43. Thanks for watching.